It's Christmas for NHL fans, and for that, we're very excited to bring in Sportsnet's Justin Bourne. This face has become very recognizable. Hey, Bourne, good to see you. The man who had quite a swarthy pro career, even at the university ranks, at University of Alaska Anchorage, stops in Alaska, Utah, Bridgeport, Reading, and Idaho. And now he's on the dark side of the media business. How you doing, Bourne?
I'm doing good, Rod. How things there?
How do you think, man? We got a top 5 NHL team here to follow, and the Florida Panthers. That's my number one story going into the year. I got Florida Calgary Stanley Cup final. What are the big question marks for you, or questions that you're going to be following in the early going and throughout this NHL season?
Well, that Florida division is a big one for me. I've been watching the Toronto Maple Leafs here in Toronto and kind of just rooting for them to win a round at some point, and hasn't happened yet. But, that top of the division, it's very tough to get better when you're at the top of the salary cap. So, did Florida get better or worse? There's lots of debates about that. They're still going to be very good. Tampa looks a little worse. Toronto got a little worse. Boston's not going to have a couple of their best players. So I think the top of the Atlantic softened a little bit while the bottom of it got a lot better. So that division to me is still of paramount interest once things get going.
Because you're in Toronto, is there implied or direct pressure to focus on the Leafs given where you are at the Sportsnet campus, or do you just naturally gravitate to Leafs coverage because you can't get away from it? It's 24/7 there in that market.
Well, no one ever comes to me. It has literally never happened once and said, write a Leafs thing or do it. I kind of have some freedom to do that, but I'm also well aware that there's the most interest there. There's just the largest amount of people to cater to, and you're in the media business. I'm in the media business. At some point, you go after where there's eyeballs and attention, and that is where a lot of it lies. So I would say it's a conscious effort on my part to remember to go after the other markets too and pay attention to what's going on to other places, because you could fall into a trap of just like what's going on with the Leafs, and obviously that's not healthy.
Yeah, you absolutely can. So I'm going to help you out with that. Number one, your hockey DB says that you're born in Kelowna, but somewhere I saw that you were born on Long Island. So I don't think you can be born in two places. Can you settle the tie, Bourne?
Yeah, I was born on Long Island. Yeah, I'm a dual citizen. My dad was with the Islanders, right? So I was born there. We went to LA when he got traded. So yeah, I'm proud to carry my two passports, but I consider myself Canadian.
Okay, cool. But I wanted to bring up the Islanders, though, because somebody's got to finish 8th, and I have them 8th. And I know Lane Lambert's a good Saskatchewan boy. He's from Swift Current, but something doesn't seem right there with me and Long Island. And they missed the playoffs last year, and I think they're going to be 8th. What's your outlook for the New York Islanders?
Well, it's strange, right? They missed the playoffs, and they were the only team in the NHL not to sign a single free agent this summer. Not one. They were like, we're just going to plow ahead. I think what they think is 2 seasons ago, they went to the conference finals, right? And the season before that, they went to the conference finals. They think they had a good team. That next year started all a mess. They're on the road while their arena's being built, 14-game road trip. They struggled there. They came home. They had COVID. They were bad, for a while. And then they got healthy, and they were pretty good in the second half. They weren't good enough to catch up, make the playoffs. But I think they saw that second half, and they've talked themselves into thinking that's the team we are. But to your point, like New Jersey's definitely better. There's a lot of teams in that division where you go, Columbus made some, added Johnny Gaudreau, and, a lot of teams got better. So I don't think it's unreasonable to question them. I do think personally there'll be a fringe playoff team probably in the same place. They'll probably be the 9th best team in the conference to my eye.
Yeah, I got them 8th in the division just because of those other teams getting better. Now, I'm just going to put some things to you that have come across my desk this week, and this came from NHL.com. It was one of their 10 questions was, does Johnny Gaudreau and Patrick Laine play on the same line? And I'm like, how is that even a question? The second Johnny signed there, I thought, can you imagine those two together? Yeah. I think the question is, who's the left winger on that line? But how do you think things will shake down in Columbus? Because let's be honest, they've had a bumpy few years too.
Yeah, Columbus's biggest thing is just how do you hang on to superstars? So when you get a chance to grab a Gaudreau, whatever question marks about him, you got to do it. And yeah, if those two guys playing together, you need a trigger, right? Like you need Patrick Laine, a guy like him that can shoot it. They're rare. So for Gaudreau to get to play with a guy like that, he played with Lindholm. What did Lindholm get? 40 last year, 38, 40? I don't know how many it was. It was a lot. So you can turn like pretty good players into massive goal scorers. I got to believe Line is going to be a guy. This could be a 50 goal a year if those two play together and he's healthy.
Right, and again, in a very difficult division. We had Peter Labardius on here yesterday, and Lou said he feels the Flames had the best offseason of any NHL team. And to be honest, I don't think I can argue that. I can't even think who's number two. Who would you say had the best offseason as we enter day one of training camps today?
Yeah, it's a great question. My eye kind of drifts towards the teams that have stunk. Like the Detroit Red Wings added, who they had? Ben Sherratt and David Perron and Andrew Kopp. They had like 7 players that are all pretty good players. The Ottawa Senators added DeBrincat and Claude Giroux. The Montreal Canadiens get Kirby Dach to come in. And, I don't know, there's some bad teams that made an effort. Even Columbus we mentioned before. So, I think in the big picture, in terms of percentage the team improved, I'm probably going to give it to Detroit, who's probably going to be, I don't know, maybe 5th in the Atlantic this year. But from where they were, that ain't too shabby.
I've got them making the playoff, and Boston
you do?
missing.
It's not unreasonable.
I got people
Love
checking
that.
my temperature for that, but I've got Detroit making the playoff. Somebody has to take a step forward. Some of these middling teams have struggled for a while, and I think it'll be Detroit. Now, having said that, I want your take on the Sabres, too, because we talked about them finishing 5th in their division last year, and granted, 35 points behind 4th. But it was 5th, and they just signed Kevin Adams to an extension yesterday. What do you see out of the Buffalo Sabres?
I think they made the right decision by not saying, we're ready to be super good and we're going to go all in and spend a bunch of money. They're not there yet. So I like the patience here because they had a lot of good players. They got, Tage Thompson being the monster that he is, but they got a lot of big young guys that are pretty good. Give them another year to come along. And then next summer, if you want to get more aggressive and see what you can do, I think they're building something good in Buffalo. And while you may not see the rewards right now, fans are excited about it. I think they're actually headed in the right direction. God, they missed playoffs, 9 years in a row or something. It may be one more, but boy, there's something good brewing.
Well, I saw it somewhere. It was Steve Simmons once said, and I don't know where you land on Steve Simmons, but he said, as with a sports team, you'd better either be selling wins or selling hope. And at the very least, the Sabres are now selling hope. There's no doubt. And maybe I'll wind this up with Ottawa. You mentioned them here with the additions of Claude Giroux and Sherratt. What about in goal, Cam Talbot? I feel like he's a bit of the Rodney Dangerfield of the NHL, certainly in the crease.
Yeah.
But what do you think those additions will mean to Ottawa? A team that I saw here come through here in Sunrise, they might have been the hardest working team, Bourne, that I saw come through.
Well,
I'm not joking.
Yeah,
it's got to mean something.
For sure. And DJ Smith has got that team go, go, go. But you can imagine how deflating it is when you get these guys to work like that. And then Matt Murray lets one go through his chest. And you're like, God, can we get a save? Between Forsberg and Talbot, they should get steady goaltending. Even if it's league average, you shouldn't have the wind taken out of your sails by giving up, weak goals this year. And that goes a long way to building a team and identity. And you want to be rewarded when you play well. And I feel like Ottawa played really hard last year, like you do, and really didn't get rewarded for it. So Talbot is a guy who should make a difference, and that should give them some belief in what they're building there. They're going to be a lot tougher team this year too.
Well, it's finally here, the chase for the Stanley Cup. As far as we're concerned, it starts. I feel the same way. Bourne, thanks for this. My best to your family, your wonderful family, which includes the in-laws, of course, and keep up the great work. I enjoy following you from down here.
Yeah, you too, buddy. Have a great season.
Sportsnet's Justin Bourne. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching the RP Show on YouTube. And don't forget, we're live daily on YouTube from noon to 2 Eastern. If you like what you see, hit subscribe. And if you like the program, check around for other segments of The Rod Pedersen Show here on YouTube.